our coordinator of the Chancellor Scholars and Maritime Mentor Program, is going to run this one today. So Vanya, take it away.
Let me unmute myself and make sure my video's on. Everybody can hear and see me, correct?
Yes.
Great. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this event, which is in all senses an info session, just to make sure you all know and are aware of the different volunteer networking opportunities available through the Chancellor Scholars and Maritime Mentor programs. So what is the Chancellor Scholarship or Chancellor Scholars Program? So briefly, it is a leadership and communication development program for recipients of the prestigious Chancellor Scholarship. So many of our students come from very diverse backgrounds. Oftentimes they are first generation students who have not had anybody who can help guide them as far as college and post-college plans. So what they get from this program is preparation for their undergraduate college life, as well as assistance preparing for, maybe they want to go to graduate school, they want to go into different careers that they're just not familiar with. So a couple of the events we have scheduled for them this upcoming year are meant to prepare them for this career development, practicing their communication skills. So we have set up two different events, actually, two different types of events. One of them is a speed networking type of event with Retirement Association members and the Maritime Association members who are interested, where they will get to do kind of a speed dating event, and they'll go around the room, or in this case, breakout rooms, since this is all virtual, and they will have this great opportunity to interact with Retirement Association members, converse with them. They'll practice and perfect their elevator pitches, which they will need, of course, throughout their professional careers. During this event, Retirement Association members such as yourself are crucial in that your feedback will benefit them. They will learn from whatever guidance and feedback you can give them, and this will help them as they are interviewing for internships, job opportunities, and more of these things. We also will have an interview question practicum event with Retirement Association members as well. Retirement Association members will be giving them questions as if they were in an interview, so about their strengths and weaknesses, their interest in obtaining this job, and this is very important. Several of them, of our students in this past year, have let us know that they really appreciated this event, not just because it helped them prepare for the interview and internship sessions that they had, but they also really enjoyed getting to know Retirement Association members one-on-one. So if you would like to really connect with students while helping them achieve their career goals, I think that these are the perfect opportunities for you, and we think you would be able to learn all about them. So I just want to, before we move on, share my screen one more time. We will be going on to hear from our Retirement Association and Chancellor Scholars members who have previously participated in similar types of events. So let me share the screen, and our panelists for today are from the Retirement Association: Haden Zano, Ann Skinner, Gail Liu, and Donna Mulcahy. And we have two Chancellor Scholars here today to also share what they thought of these events and how your participation as Retirement Association members really benefited them. Michelle Rivas Torres and Maggie Du. So we can go ahead and start with Patricia and Zano. If you wouldn't mind sharing your experience. You participated, I believe, last year in the interview session practicum. So how did that go, and what can you tell everyone on this call about their participation?
Thank you. I'm Pat, and I did participate in the interview exercise panel last year, and in my opinion, I thought it was excellent. The format were students with students and then a mentor who was one of the retirement or Emirates volunteers. And we selected a question off a very, very good, strong list of interview questions. The student whose turn it was had couple minutes. It was all timed. This went very smoothly. Had a few minutes to gather their thoughts, think about the question, and then proceed to answer the question. And I thought the most valuable part of the feedback was not just from the mentor, but also from the students. So it was a group of maybe 5 students, 1 mentor, in a breakout session room, and then the students, after the primary student answered the interview question, the other students gave feedback. And I think it was a little difficult for them at first. It's hard for people at that age to give feedback to their peers. But as the sessions went on and they became a little more comfortable with it, by the last session that I sat in on, they were very straightforward and gave some excellent feedback. So that part of it is just as valuable, in my opinion, as it was for the person who was answering the question. And I was just very pleasantly surprised at the poise and the thoughtfulness and the, really engagement of this whole process. So I would highly recommend it. My background was in the healthcare field at Hillcrest, and I was a manager, so I did do a lot of interviewing in my days. So it was great for me to be able to give them my feedback. And I always gave people in interview situations feedback. It was part of what I did. So I just loved it. I thought it was great. I think the students really appreciated it, and it doesn't really matter what your background is. I think they just love having us there. So that's my spiel. And I'm sticking to it.
Thank you. They really enjoyed meeting you as well, and that you gave. Gail Liu is our next panelist who will share her experience. She did both the speed networking and the interview practice session event, and she's part of the Maritime Mentor Program, so she gets to interact with students one-on-one oftentimes. Gail?
Hi there. The questions that Vanya and Suzanne have ready helps guide the session for where the students can discuss it with you. So keep those same questions. They are really, really helpful. And I loved how last year that it opened up to the retirement association, the other members that are not on the Emeriti Association. So that opens up to more people with more points of views, with more work experiences that are necessary to be added to the networking aspect. So that was really nice to have. It is a little, just like what Pat said, everybody's a little shy in the beginning, but toward the end of the hour, the whole room was so noisy that sometimes it could be hard to control the group. The students, it was really good for them to evaluate each other too, so that they can use their analytical skills about how to communicate to not just this format of interviewing and networking. They give the feedback, and then they can learn from the feedback they give to the other students onto themselves. I did appreciate that a lot of the students did take it so seriously, where they wore shirts with ties, and so I thought that was really, really impressive. So yes, I highly recommend it, and I plan on doing it again, and keep up the good work, you guys. I think that's it.
So one thing you won't have to worry about if you participate in these events this year is the noise level. Since they will be held virtually, these events, we'll be able to separate people in breakout rooms, and so there won't be those echoes on the wall. So that'll be a great thing as well. Up next, we have Ann Skinner, who was actually the previous our Retirement Association president, and who has participated in these events and volunteered alongside Chancellor Scholars as well. And if you wouldn't mind sharing what the Chancellor Scholars are like, or what your experiences have been with them.
Sure, very good. In my work career, I didn't have a chance to interact much with students because we were at the hospital, and the only students we would see were volunteers, and once in a while we would get a student employee. So coming to Retirement Association and interacting with the Chancellor Scholars has been just a delight. I am very impressed with them. They were so helpful, especially during my year as president, on the different events that we had. I mean, they're right there, ready to help, ready to do anything that's needed. They participated in our picnic, in our art soiree, in our holiday and open house. And I even had an opportunity to volunteer with them on their food bank volunteering session. That was a lot of fun. It's hard to believe that packing apples for a couple of hours can be so much fun, but these kids were great. And then also the beach cleanup. And so, yes, not only what they're doing and how they're doing it, it's really, really encouraging to see. They're very enthusiastic. They're very respectful, as the others have said. They're looking forward to receiving your feedback. And having been a first-generation college graduate myself, I'm a little bit envious that I didn't have that type of guidance back in the day, because I think it would be very, very helpful. And so, yes, I am a big fan of the Chancellor Scholars. They're great people. They're going to be wonderful leaders in the future. I just know it. And I will continue to be involved with them, and I hope we can continue to provide the different activities we've been able to provide through the association, as well as the Meriti Association, for these students, because it's a wonderful investment. It's a short bit to ask for such a good investment in our future. So that's it.
Thank you, Anne. And yes, as far as the activities and events go, they are very short commitment. Each event is only 1 to 1.5 hours long, and you can participate in as many or only one if you'd like. It all depends on your schedule and what's convenient for you. So up next, I'd like to welcome Donna Mulcahy, who is also an Emerita Mentor this year, and has been for the previous few years. Donna, if you wouldn't mind sharing your experiences.
Had to unmute myself, sorry. Hi, I'm Donna Mulcahy, and I've been acting as a mentor for the past 4 years with a just very, very diverse, fantastic group of undergraduate students. It's an incredible honor and a blessing if you get involved with them. These students are some of the most amazing people you will ever meet. They have wonderful stories to tell. And it's really wonderful, especially since this particular event is typically with the first and second years. And then as you see them over the years, as they get older, they're juniors and they're seniors, and their development and their growth is just amazing. I have the added blessing and responsibility of having been a UCSD undergraduate student. I'm a graduate of Muir College. And my other crazy, insane claim to fame was that when I was an undergraduate student, I was the recipient of a scholarship that was called the Chancellor Scholarship. And it was very similar to this Chancellor Scholarship that these students get. It was primarily towards first-generation students who had very little means of getting able to come to college. And that was me. And but I didn't have the program that Suzanne and Vanya have put together for them over the years. And this program is just irreplaceable. When I tell people about what I've been involved in this program, especially other people that I've known through UCSD that I've worked with, they all say, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be wonderful if every undergraduate could have something like that? This particular program I really enjoyed because you really get to meet a lot of students all at once, or in this case, maybe 5 or 6. But just to listen to them, to have them practice their pitches on you, to see their development in their skills. And I have to agree with one of the previous speakers. I was amazed at the poise and the speaking capability of many of these students. Obviously, they don't get to UCSD because they're not very smart. These are just really, really smart, really amazing young people. And so you will see that in these events. As was mentioned earlier, the first one that I went to was in the Retirement Resource Center. And it was so loud, you could literally not hear the person across from you. But these events online will be different. Everything's different this year, and everything will continue to be different as we go along. But if you're considering it at all, it is really not difficult at all to participate. And I leave you with a thought. I read this on the wall at someplace I was volunteering last year, and the person, it was something printed out, and it said, "Well, there was another hour of my life that I'll never get back. Said no volunteer ever." So I highly, strongly suggest that you do it. I've always said that I get more out of these events than I've ever put in. They're really valuable.
Yeah.
Thank you, Donna. That was so helpful of you. I see that you're wearing your Chancellor Scholars shirt as well. So next, we actually will get to hear what the students thought of these events. The following students are third years this year, so they've gone through both the first year program and the second year program, and they participated in feedback sessions that we held over summer that actually helped develop these speed networking and interview events. So first up, if we could welcome Ishel Rivas-Torres. Ishel, if you wouldn't mind sharing your experience.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ishel. Well, first of all, I had never participated in something like the speed networking or like the interview prep in any other program, and it was really helpful. I remember like a lot of you mentioned at the beginning of the interview prep, which was in the RC. I was really nervous. I hadn't really connected with my fellow scholars that were with me, but as we went along, I was like, okay, I'm comfortable with them. They gave me really good feedback, both them and the mentors that we met with. And it was really nice to practice my interviews. I usually, when I have an interview, I usually practice in my mind, but it's not the same, definitely. And their feedback was really great. And I've been able to apply it to when I talk to people, just like, okay, am I saying too much? Am I not elaborating on what I am saying and stuff like that? It was really helpful. And then the speed networking night was really a great place to meet a lot of the mentors who I had not previously had a chance. I remember I hadn't really had a chance to talk to any of the mentors. I had just seen them at the RC or at other events, and having a chance to finally talk to them and learn a little bit about having them hear what I had to say was really nice. So a lot of the conversations stuck to me. I think I saw he was in here, Rick Ord. I remember having a conversation with him, and I was like, I had never talked to him, and it was a really great conversation. It was a great experience, both of them, and I'm very happy that now the incoming freshmen, I believe that they will have a chance to do that too. So yeah, it was really great, and I'm really grateful for everybody who volunteered. You guys made it an incredible experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Ishel. And yes, so previously we held these speed networking and interview sessions only for our second year cohort. However, feedback from our scholars, and in particular one scholar who will be talking next, Maggie Du, made us realize that first years can also benefit from this as they are going on to their second year, applying for summer internships and jobs. It's really beneficial for them. So Maggie, if you wouldn't mind sharing your feedback on these events.
Hi, Vanya. Yes. Hello, everyone. Just like Ishelle said, it was my first time experiencing something like this as well, like interacting with so many people in such a short time and having to present yourself. And it was just a completely new experience for me. And I did think that it was good for first years because that's when you're meeting the most people at the time. And I think it was just good to have presentation skills ready to go so that you're not stuck like not knowing what to say or how to present yourself. At first it was a little nerve-wracking for me just because everyone I was talking to was a mentor and I didn't want to come off unlikable, I suppose. But all the mentors and my peers had like really great advice and let me know that I was stalling a lot, or like Ishelle said, saying or like I am now stalling. But I think those two sessions helped me improve my speech because I can sometimes hear myself stuttering or rambling, and it helps me to talk to others out loud because when I try to go over it in my head, it sounds like I can't hear my mistakes, but when I'm presenting out loud, I can hear where I'm going wrong or where I need improvement. And I believe I talked to Professor Henry Pohl, and he gave like really great advice, and just talking to the mentors really boosted my confidence because I know that, or like they reassured me that it's not silly to mess up when you're not saying everything perfectly. So again, I appreciate that all the mentors came out to help the students with this.
Great. Vanya, let me go ahead and jump in. Hi, guys. This is Anne. I want you all to know, I've been running now Chancellor Scholars for 13 years. We started with the Maritime Mentor Program and then launched the Chancellor Scholars Program in our second year. And every single thing we do is driven by what is best for the students. So although it kind of drives them crazy, nobody likes to be surveyed all the time, we are constantly surveying them. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? We do a big survey at the end of the year, and this year we enhanced it with focus groups. We did a focus group made up of those who had just finished their first year cohort, and then we did a second cohort for those who had just finished their second year. And we have developed and tweaked this program so much along the way, built on the feedback that we've gotten from students all along. So where initially we were meeting just once a month, it wound up, morphing into a weekly program. Students told us, no, we don't want to just go off into the wind after year one. We really want to keep our cohort together. We feel like there's still a lot we can learn. So we developed a year two program, and we've developed and added to this program. And like Donna, I think what we have is pretty damn unique. I'm really proud of it. Anyway, so thank you so much for students and participants, panelists in this event today. And our idea was those that are not in the Maritime Mentor Program, those people, professionals who worked oftentimes 20, 25 years at UCSD. Most of the time they were motivated to be at UCSD because they really cared about education. They really cared about our students. And so some people interacted with students, but others didn't have that opportunity. So this is such a wonderful opportunity for those of you that are not in the mentor program to get involved and to have this opportunity to work one-on-one or in a small group with these scholars in these one-off events, these networking events. So we've now developed, I think we have 3 of them, don't we, Vanya, between second year and first year?
Yes, that are open to retirement.
Yeah, there are 3 different events. And so our idea with doing this info session was, in fact, to develop a cadre, a group of Retirement Association members who would like to rotate through. And our goal is you can choose to do 1, you can choose to do 2. If you love it and you're gung-ho, you can choose to do all 3 of them. Each one is only an hour and a half long. But by being a member of this cadre of professionals that are doing these networking sessions, you will get exclusive invitations to some of our Emeriti and Chancellor Scholars events, such as the opening and closing ceremony. And those are wonderful events. Not only do you get to meet the first year scholars, you know, their first week coming into the program, but we are going to be hearing this autumn in October, we're going to be hearing from an alum. We heard from one last year, Trevor Irwin. When he spoke, I was almost in tears. I was so proud of him. And so we're going to be hearing this year from Jai Ha, who graduated in 2020, went on and did her graduate degree, and after that now has a successful career in finance. It is so exciting to be able to hear these young people that have come up through our program and have gone out and, you know, struck out and just been completely successful in the professional world. So I want to really encourage all of you to sign up to be part of our networking cadre. And then again, we will be inviting you to our opening and closing ceremony. And we're not sure, we may be doing our etiquette event online this year, so you would be invited to that. So any of these kinds of events that we can open up, we will open up to this group. So that was just my 2 cents. Wanted to thank our panelists for participating, our students and our professionals. And hope that you will all be interested in helping us. Vanya, go ahead and close up, or see if we have any questions.
Yes.
Oh.
Patty's on them. Yes.
Pat?
Oh, how do we sign up?
Just an email to Vanya will be fine. Emeriti
Okay.
Mentor. Send an email to Emeriti Mentor saying I'm in, and we'll put you on the list.
Okay, sounds good.
Vanya, I have a question.
Yeah.
You know how we did the networking, the speed networking for the last couple of years, that it would be we would have one student that we would interact with for 2 minutes, and then they would shift over to the next mentor.
Yes.
How do you envision that to be?
We'll do small breakout rooms, Gail.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you're going to use the breakout room
Yes, we use
modality?
breakout
Okay.
rooms for the small interactions. Yes.
Thank you.
Don't worry.
I lost my thought there.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. For those of you that haven't participated, that have heard all of this, or any of the rest of you that have any questions?
So this is Harriet. So I am interested in doing this, and I just want to make sure I have the right way to put my name in there, and that
Sure.
is to
Send
send
an
an
email
email.
To Emeriti Mentor, 2 words together,
Yeah.
EMERITI. Actually, what we're going to do is Vanya is going to send a blast email to everybody who RSVP'd for this event. I think you're on the RSVP list, and she'll say, thank you for having participated. And then you'll just be able to reply to that email and say, yeah, I want to participate. Okay, Vanya, would you do that?
Wonderful. Thanks.
So the first one is November 10th.
Yeah, Vanya, go ahead and give the dates again for the 3 events.
Yeah, so for the event open to the share this. So these are the 3 events. For our second years, that's the first event coming up, November 3rd, interview questions practicum. And then in spring, we have our events for first years, speed networking 1 and 2. So 2 different nights, in case you can't make one, if you could make the other, that'd be perfect as well. April 22nd and April 29th.
And we will commit to sending the questions out to all those who have said they want to participate at least a week in advance. So you've had a chance to, become familiar with what they are, with also a sort of an idea of how it's going to work, how the groups will rotate, how much time you'll have in group. We'll send out a description of all that well in advance.
November 3rd is voting day.
Yeah, so you know what? number one, most people are voting otherwise. It's
Mail.
voting month. So you drop your ballot off in October, you're done. But for those that actually go and vote, usually it's no more than an hour, and this is an evening event from 5 to 6. Other questions from anyone? All right, so just to follow up, we will be sending out a thank you note to everybody who RSVP'd. If you're in this call and you didn't RSVP, please make sure you go on to RSVP and get your name on there. And Maritime Mentors will all automatically get invited, but we will also be inviting, all retirees who are on this call. So, but you do need to reply and say you'd like to do, and if it's possible to let us know if you'd like to do 1, 2, or 3, and if it's only one of them, if you think you may be away or something, indicate the one that you'd like to do. But if you're interested in all 3, let us know that as well. Okay, Vanya, I don't know that we have anything else for them, so I think we can let them go at that.
Yeah.
Are the April sessions also at 5 o'clock?
Yes, everything from 5 to 6:30.
Yeah.
And if you have any other questions that just weren't brought up here, feel free to reply to the email we will be sending out with those questions, and we will answer them. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to our panelists. Round of applause for them, both RA and student. And thank you for the people who are on this call with us. We hope you have a nice rest of your day.
We appreciate you all so very much. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.